Greetings. If you like these daily crypto analysis videos, hit the like button and subscribe. Please share these videos with your friends to help the channel grow. I'm Crypto Snake, back again to discuss some Bitcoin analysis. So today we're going to start out on the 4-hour chart here and take a look at the SAR. I did point out last video that what concerned me was that the SAR was just slowly downtrending here. The downtrend actually has picked up, and as you can see, we did hit that eventual dump here, which I outlined was likely to happen from the sideways trading here. We have actually broken out of the 4-hour cloud here on Coinbase's chart, which is very bearish. As you can see, we did wick up to this resistance area at 63.46 before breaking back down again. This is normal when we break the cloud like this. And now the RSI is finding relatively light support around the 41 area. We did actually confirm this TK crossover here, which resulted in this large dip here. And the Chiku span is still within price here, which could potentially break down below price. If it breaks down below price, we're definitely going down a lot harder here, which I really do think we are going down from here. I don't think we're going to spring back through this cloud and continue on up. If we go ahead and take a look at the one-day cloud, you can see a couple videos ago I did lay out this bear flag that was potentially forming. We do appear to be following that relatively closely here. The bear flag itself was drawn pretty quickly, so it's not an exact measurement, but it does give you an idea of where we might be going here. The SAR's upward angle here is actually decreased and more plateaued, which matches the overall movement here. And the Tenkan-sen has actually started plateauing. This still makes the overall technical analysis bearish here, as I did see this start declining. If it wanted to be bullish, it would have continued declining down something like this, with the Kijun-sen coming up to meet it for a TK crossover. As you can see here on the one-day RSI, we are actually making lower and lower peaks. That's why I did say that it is likely the peak for Bitcoin here on this pump before the dip. And as you can see, we did get this big red candle here, which presumably proved my theory on that. We'll still have to wait and see whether or not it is going to bounce back up, as there is a lot of manipulation in crypto. Technical analysis sometimes does go out the window, but I do believe we are still set to go ahead and hit this target area around 5850, give or take, down to 5500, somewhere around the previous trend line before continuing up. So before I move on with the rest of my technical analysis here, if you would like to join my free Telegram for insights on the market, including Bitcoin, altcoins, and a sneak peek to my personal entries and exits, join t.me/cryptosnakepit. Links are in the description below. Also, in our private VIP group, we have been capitalizing on Bitcoin's sideways movements, pulling 25% gains so far on ZRX, 20% on WON, 7% on GAME, and 10% on ADA. If you want information on how to get into our private VIP group to be part of these trades, the information is also in the description below. So back to the one-day chart here. You can actually see that the Chiku span is still in bearish territory here, and it has continued making lower peaks, breaking down lower and lower, which is very bearish. Moving down to the 1-hour chart here, you can see that the trend is actually still going to continue down here. We did have a TK crossover up here before this huge break here, bouncing off of the 28 RSI. We did bounce through the 30 area here, which caused this little bit of a bounce here. I do believe this is going to sideways trend for a little while, probably until the Kijun-sen comes down a bit, and then it's going to spike up and then spike right back down. Both the Kijun-sen and Tenkan-sen right now are slowly sloping down, which is bearish, and the cloud is just starting to form over here in a downward slope. So I don't think we're done breaking down from here. I do think this could be the catalyst that brings us down to the 5850 area before a potentially small bounce there. We may actually break down to 5500. Anywhere within that range is within my target area for Bitcoin recovery though. So back to the one-day chart here, you can see if it does hit this previous trend line here and starts resoundingly heading back up, I will call it a bull season and we'll likely make some really savage profits off of that. Moving back to the 1 hour again though, you can see here, as I pointed in the previous video, we had nothing but HFT bots making this manipulation here, really attempting to sway some bullish FOMO pressure back in here, but it just did not pan out and just continued. So they ended up dumping here, which has put the market into a little bit of a panic here. I believe we may be forming another bear flag here on the 1 hour, which could break down unless there's absolute pure market manipulation. As you can see on this green candle that I pointed out in the previous video, we shot straight through the Kijun-sen and Tenkan-sen. The same possibility could happen here, but all of the technical analysis right now supports another dump. Moving on to the overall health of the market here. If we take a look here, the Bitcoin dominance actually has risen again and has actually begun sloping back up. We have now hit around 53% at 52.76 give or take, and continue to slope up now. That's very bearish considering it looked like it was possibly downsloping here. The overall market cap, we ended up losing $7 billion in about 1 hour, which resulted in a major dump on a lot of the alt positions. A lot of these are down 7, 8, 10%, 17%, 15%, etc. Yesterday we did see about a 10% gain on those alts, so anyone who jumped in on those pre-pump and didn't take profits likely is back right at where they entered. Moving on to some of the news here though, there's still some bullish news on blockchain. The US government grants $800,000 to blockchain researchers. So the US government is actually heavily looking into blockchain itself for technology. So just more proof that the technology isn't going anywhere right now. It's bullish long term on the market space and that we are still very, very early in the market. But as this other article points out, it really doesn't stop you from getting disillusioned on cryptocurrency. Blockchain enters the trough of disillusionment on Gartner's hype scale. Basically, it states that all of these cryptocurrency projects that have come out and put up these pipe dreams that are just absolutely unattainable, people have started to realize that they are in fact unattainable, and they're starting to get disillusioned with a lot of these smaller projects. They don't see real world use for blockchain. That's because it's so early in the actual blockchain space right now that it's actually hard to get through that. I think that disillusionment also applies to Bitcoin itself and cryptocurrency. If you were invested in Bitcoin or any of these alt positions on this dump and you took heavy losses, I'm sure you're not feeling great about the crypto space right now, not seeing much life. This pump here did actually breathe a little bit of life back into the altcoin positions and brought a lot of faith back to some people. This pump and dump here from the ETF decision was not healthy for the market overall, and it absolutely just shredded the altcoin market. This pump produced some pretty lucrative gains, natural growth, followed by the dump here, which obviously did start hurting a lot of the alt positions as well. Now, what actually concerns me about this right now is this third news story. The SEC faces Thursday deadline for ProShares Bitcoin ETF decision. Now, this is a much smaller ETF decision than caused this pump here, so I don't see the SEC's decision here having that much of an effect on the price, at least not as much as it had here, as this was a pump from the SEC decision and then a dump. But considering we are likely heading down and we're moving bearish already, that news combined, if they do in fact reject the ETF, it could certainly compound on this dump here, which would most assuredly bring us down to 5,500, 5,800, give or take. Now, if they approve it, I could see it giving it a minor pump, but if they actually do deny it, it could take a lot of faith out of the major ETF decision scheduled for next month. If the SEC sets a precedent that they're not going to approve ETFs, that could definitely hurt the market, and we may even strike down to 3,500 if it absolutely just kills off investors and that train starts rolling, just dumping red. Everyone is going to start liquidating their assets on that, scared of this ETF decision. Same way that the ETF decision gave a pump, it'll absolutely give us a dump here. So I am going to be keeping my eyes on that, and as I said in the previous video, I am staying out of any positions right now. I do have some low placed bids on certain altcoins that I believe will recover pretty heavily if they end up wicking down into my buys. However, I really don't like the health of the market right now. It doesn't seem like a good area to be trading in, so I'm going to be avoiding most of those. Before I wrap this video up, I just want to say good luck on your trades this week if you do make them. Please join me in my free Telegram at t.me/cryptosnakepit, where I give up-to-the-minute updates on Bitcoin and my personal exits and entries for the private VIP group. Also included is our private VIP chat, where you can chat with many of our experienced savage traders, get personal technical analysis from me, and answer any questions you might have. This is CryptoSnake, signing off.